Howdy, Connection Group leaders. Happy Thursday. I hope you're doing well. And I also hope you enjoyed that little sneak peek of Hanging in the Green I just gave you. Man, I am so excited about the students having the opportunity to serve our church family by leading the worship service and ringing in the Christmas season. By the way, Merry Christmas, man. I'm so pumped that Christmas is here. You'll know how much I love it. But the students they're going to do a great job on Sunday. So I hope you'll be there. I hope you'll invite your friends and come and cheer them on and encourage them. They've been working hard on this one service for a little over a month now. And I really think you're going to be encouraged. I think you're going to be blessed. I think you're going to laugh and be impressed too, because God really has gifted so many of them in really, really cool ways. And I love that I get to lead them and then even play a small part in this process of them getting to serve our church family. So come check that out. Now, we get to talk about Jacob. Man, Jacob is a fascinating story. I think I've told you before, this semester, we're studying Hebrews chapter 11. We were just doing basically a survey of the Old Testament. Hebrews chapter 11 is my outline that I'm using, and I'm showing the students both the connection of the Old Testament with Jesus, but also how faith has always been the same. Like in the Old Testament, faith operated the same way that faith does now too with us and the Lord. It's very, very cool. But as you go through that, what we call the Hall of Faith from Hebrews chapter 11, there's a couple of those names that you kind of scratch your head and go, that guy made the list, really? Jacob is one of those names, man, because you want to talk about a dumpster fire of a theological human being, dude. Like, if there was a mistake to be made, Jacob was going to do it. In fact, there was something sinful or rebellious to do, Jacob was going to do it. And that's absolutely what we see him doing over and over and over again in this passage on Sunday. So the lesson does a great job of telling his story. But here's what I want you to catch, and I hope that you will talk with your classes about it, and I hope you'll consider this too. Number one, the decisions that we see Jacob make, a lot of them are learned behaviors from his family. So for instance, Jacob was a liar. Well, guess what his parents did, right? Jacob showed favoritism in an awful way towards his kid. Guess what his parents did? Jacob was an adulterer. When I say an adulterer, I mean like a justified, notice my fingers, he would say it was justified adultery. My wife brought me another woman and said it was okay. Guess what his grandfather did? Are you seeing these patterns? Guys, the stuff that we do as parents, our kids are picking up on those, and they will repeat those actions. That ought to be sobering to us, both as we lead our biological children, but also just the other kids in the church. Kids are watching to see what we're going to do, and they follow our behavior. So we got to be mindful of that, right? And also, again, just look at the fact, like, he just consistently makes terrible decisions over and over again. Rarely does he make the right choice, and yet we see amazing grace show up. Actually, in this particular case, in person, God himself shows up to intervene in Jacob's life. Not long after Jacob prayed, Lord, I need your help. And God showed up to help him. And even in that process, it is fascinating to me that Jacob literally wrestles with God. So, God, I need your help. I want your help. I'm going to do whatever you want me to, but I'm still just fighting and tussling. And we as human beings do that, right? Like, okay, God, I want what you want. No, I don't actually want what you want. I'm going to fight you a little bit. And then finally, the Lord just pops his hip out of place, forces him to submit. But through all of this is probably the biggest takeaway of the lesson. We see this overwhelming grace of God that's astounding, and it's totally undeserved. And we just go, Lord, what are you doing? And that's where we need to stop and go, wait a second. I'm not actually that great a person either. We could easily go, well, I'm definitely better than Jacob because I've never done the stuff that he's done. But there's plenty of other pet sins and learned behaviors and things that we picked up that we either did do, and maybe finally we've had that change that God brought about in our lives, or maybe we're still struggling with. And yet we're able to say, if we're honest, we're able to say, and I love what Jacob says here. It says to his family, chapter 35, then let us arise and go to Bethel so that I may make there an altar to God who answers to me in the day of my distress and has been with me wherever I've gone. Jacob recognizes God has always been with me. Always. And that grace is astounding, isn't it? We get to celebrate that, certainly at Christmas time, but we get to celebrate that period. So I hope you'll do that with your class. I hope you'll do that with your family. I hope we'll learn the lessons of Jacob and rejoice at God's goodness. Guys, I love y'all. Can't wait to see you on Sunday. Merry Christmas. Oh, by the way, if you're interested, we're selling these fun little hoodies too. If you'd like one, we'd love for you to take part in that too. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you later. Bye.